Welcome back to Squadron ScaleWorlshop. My name is Brett Green. A few short hours ago, the courier arrived at the door with a plain white box from Shizuoka in Japan, and it contained a set of test shot sprues and some photocopied instructions from Tamiya's forthcoming Messerschmitt Bf 109 G-6 in 1/48 scale. Now, I'll restrain myself from discussing whether we need another Bf 109 G6, although the short answer from me is from Tamiya, sure, absolutely. And I'll talk a little bit about what we actually have seen in this plain white box. We'll take a look at the parts in detail in a few minutes, but just to summarise, the kit comprises 187 parts in grey plastic, another 8 parts in clear, magnets, a few metal washers, a polythene cap, and the final kit will include decals for 3 marking options, although I don't have those with this test shot at the moment. The model best represents a mid-production Messerschmitt Bf 109 G6 produced at the Messerschmitt Regensburg factory, so it doesn't have the small secondary bulge on the starboard side of the engine cowl. It's just the one bueller on either side, and it's also got the short tail and the framed canopy. Optional parts in the kit include the tropical filter, so you can build it as a Bf 109 G6 trop. There are also the 20mm underwing gondolas, so you can build it as a Bf 109 G6 R6 gunboat. There's the ETC rack and also 2 styles of the 300 litre drop tank, one with the flattened rear back bottom section. We also have some interesting indications of future versions where we have the FUG 25 moraine mast provided for the underwing location, although for the 3 options in this kit, basically you'll only be using one of the 2 blanking plates provided for that. There are also 2 styles of tail wheel, one with a boot for the cover and one uncovered. Here is a Tamiya built test shot at the Tokyo Hobby Show in late September. In this photograph, the cowls are open and the engine is on display, but due to the unique modular nature of the kit, the parts can be swapped out and the same kit can be displayed with the cowls closed. Here is the starboard fuselage half. Note that the entire forward section of the fuselage is a separate part, although the wing root is moulded full length. Also note that the section behind the pilot's head, with either the battery box or the storage box, is a separate insert, as is the fin. The port fuselage half is moulded with a substantial mount for the engine. The pips for the tropical umbrella are moulded onto the fuselage half. You'll need to slice these off if you're not building a G6 trop. The instructions call out for a number of hatches to be filled on the kit's starboard fuselage side. The centre spine hatch is actually a filler point for either the GM1 or MW50 boost systems, which are more logically seen on the Bf 109 G14, and the hatch below that is a filler hatch for Messerschmitt Bf 109 F variants. A seated pilot figure is included, and he looks almost too good to be left out. Rib tape and stitching detail is subtly done. Note the very stout locating tabs for the rudder. The horizontal tail is moulded as a full span single part, with the elevators moulded in the neutral position. propeller and spinner shapes look good. By cowl and oil cooler fairing moulded as a single piece. Tropical and standard supercharger intakes are two separate sub-assemblies. The kit's cockpit tub and the pilot's stowage hatch behind his head. Some cockpit detail is moulded onto the fuselage sidewalls. The circular ejection pin marks that we see here will mainly be covered up by other cockpit parts. It's also interesting to note that the fuselage station detail is moulded onto the inside of the rear fuselage. We might be seeing a clear addition at some stage. Cockpit detail parts including the fuel line and the throttle quadrant. The plastic instrument panel is supplied in two parts. Trim wheels and the centre cannon breech. More cockpit detail including the rudder pedals, the bucket seat, the footrests and the control column. The bottom of the wing is moulded as a full span part. The leading edge slats and the undercarriage both feature very positive locating points. The multi-part ETC rack plus the centre section of the 20mm gondolas. We can also see the moraine mast here. Two options are provided for the style of 300 litre drop tank. The gondola gun covers and the separate wingtips. Flaps and ailerons are all separate parts. The flap sections feature a unique method to locate them in either the raised or the lowered position. You either cut off the middle tab or you cut off the outer two tabs depending on its location. The rear section of the main wheel wells features zippered covers. The front section is uncovered. One of the upper wings the concave bulge on the inside of the wheel well is a nice touch. The two styles of tail wheel, both covered and uncovered, and the single option of a solid main wheel hub. Main wheel inner hub and tyres, as well as one of the clever parts that allows the engine bay to be displayed or covered. Two sets of engine cowlings are included, one for the open option and one for when the cowls are closed. They can be switched between these two positions. Main landing gear covers, and now we can see a number of the engine parts. Horseshoe radiator detail is included too. The engine mounts and the exhausts, which are moulded as one part per side. The top of the engine and the base for the machine guns are moulded as a single part. The machine guns themselves are nicely moulded. Multimedia parts include polythene caps, 3 washers and 2 magnets. The clear parts include the framed canopy and 2 different styles of windscreen. The Gallon Panzer head armour is also included, indicating later versions to come. So that's been just a very cursory initial look at the sprues of this kit. We'll talk in more detail about how the kit goes together, because I can tell you it's not going to be very long before it's on the modelling bench. And we'll also discuss its place in the current lineup of 148 scale Messerschmitt Bf 109 G6 kits before too long as well. But for the moment, that's all we have from Squadron ScaleWorkshop. Bye for now.